Elden Ring goes against all conventions of open world game design, especially one that has been utilized for years, the Ubisoft formula. The Ubisoft design, where there's stuff all over the map everywhere, and you're notified of every aspect of your health, where to go, and what's on the map in your UI. Taking over towers and or camps to conquer and unify the entirety of your game world. Elden Ring says, screw all that, let's give you a big open world with tons of content, tons of things to do, and tons of places to explore. And better yet, you have to explore it on your own. You don't have stuff directing you to where you need to go, because where you go is your choice. Man, all the bosses and enemies, all the treasure, secret loot, caves, secret areas, new locations on the map, new techniques from Ashes of War, summons and swords, weapons, different animations for each weapon. Dude, this game is huge, and it's a staggering achievement of FromSoftware's track record and maybe even gaming history. Ubisoft's design is so different. With a boatload of stuff on the map, in their games, you can interact with the open world by renovating properties. You can also find hidden old World War II items, doing races, doing side activities, like game modes, kind of like how in Far Cry 3, you had this thing where you would go to a vehicle and it would trigger a side game, and it took you to a mini game to blow up the most amount of stuff, side quest activities, towers to take over, sometimes properties to renovate, maybe mini games and side quests. It's so different. It's always telling you where to go and putting it all over your map just so you know just how much is in the map. I love this. I love Ubisoft's design. It's so good. Elden Ring's design. Oh my goodness. I don't like it. Yes, it's amazing. There's a lot of stuff they did right. I'm not trying to thrash on legendary Elden Ring. I yield, FromSoftware fans, I yield. I get it, this is quite the game, but I don't like the open world design because I like it when it tells me where to go and shows me just how much is in the map. I like the towers. I want to take it over every single time because it's fun. I like the side quests because it's engaging and usually has aspects of the story and character not yet tackled that gets tackled. And it's got side games and even mini games that are fun to play and interesting to do. It's fun to just explore in an Ubisoft game because of that, because you can do these things at any time. This is just my perspective. I'm not dogging on anyone who might feel differently. Despite this, let's dig into some key differences of their design. Elden Ring's design is more free. It doesn't hold your hand. It expects you to go out of your way to figure it out on your own, and it's not too hard to figure out where to go. You just have to pay attention. The world is so vast and beautiful. Every aspect of the environment is a staggering video game achievement. Shocking this game wasn't more gigabytes. The combat system has so many different variety of weapons to choose from, making it so addictive to see all the different animations they've crafted and perfected over the years combined together. The open world environment is so vast, large, and it feels like you're connected to its environment, like it's all yours. And you have an unbelievable sense of freedom and exploration. You will find something new every single time. The open world environment is so vast. Elden Ring is absolutely beautiful and violent and intense too, with some of the hardest boss fights in FromSoftware history by a landslide. You thought Dark Souls 1 was hard? Or Dark Souls 3? Wait until you play Elden Ring. Wow. This is what you're going to face in the open world. The Ubisoft design, towers, places, properties to renovate, races, secret locations, secret tombs, interacting with your open world environment, interacting with the open world itself. It's just different. These are the things that make open world so incredible. Fluctuating the open world environment with things to do that you actually want to do. It doesn't always have to point you in the direction of where to go. The world should already have places to go. YouTube artist Exile stated that in order for an open world to feel alive, it has to feel like it lives on even when you leave. In Red Dead Redemption 2, the open world feels alive. It feels like it lives even when you leave. It feels like it goes on after you've put down the controller. This is a true open world. This is what open worlds have strived to be for years. In Red Dead 2, the entire open world environment is fleshed out and fluctuated with special handcrafted content that has a lot of care and attention to detail. Open worlds are important in the video game genre. They create freedom. Open worlds give you more freedom as to how to play the game, how to complete missions. Some even take it a step further and allow freedom of how you complete different missions. It's large, it's huge and vast, yet this is what Ubisoft does with their open world design. People are very critical of their open world design, but not Elden Ring. This game, people love the fact that it went against the Ubisoft formula. See, the thing about games like this is that it went against the Ubisoft design, and because it doesn't have the Ubisoft formula and instead uses the FromSoftware design from their previous titles, except they put the FromSoftware design into an open world and said it's all yours. Have at it. The bosses, the enemies, the characters, the secret locations, the vast environments, the amount of weapons, the ashes of war. Holy f. This open world is so fleshed out. Elden Ring is such a huge open world, and it's pretty big, especially for a game that goes against a design philosophy that at one point was revolutionary. You see, in games like Assassin's Creed 2, you got to renovate properties, go on races, you got to go to the assassin's tombs. Elden Ring's open world design is vast, large, and doesn't show everything that's possible on its own map. It's like one of those old school games from years ago that didn't tell you where to go. The UI doesn't have stuff parading it with stuff that lets you know where to go and what's going on. The world has secret locations, however, its open world design serves one main purpose, and that's action. In Ubisoft's games, their open world design serves more than one purpose. This is not a jab at Elden Ring, I'm just comparing design. In Assassin's Creed 2, you could do more than even just fighting, which you don't have to do in an open world for it to work. However, it's just icing on top of a brilliant cake if you decide to do so, and yes, they have here. In Assassin's Creed 2, you were able to race and renovate properties, things that have nothing to do with killing, and yet you can do this. Hey, even Assassin's Creed Revelations lets you read books, and Skyrim let you actually open a book and read it for yourself. Speaking of Skyrim, Skyrim also lets you have a homestead, and it also lets you do other things in its open world outside of combat. Ubisoft games tend to also have side activities and things in its open world outside of just combat. Elden Ring is different because its main focus is its combat loop, so its open world design is designed for this. That's what it's designed for, combat, so it doesn't have side activities outside of combat. That would be interesting, however, it's not meant to be this way. Much like FromSoftware's previous titles, Elden Ring is combat based. Every area you traverse is meant to prepare you for the bigger enemies and bosses. It goes against not only Ubisoft's design, but so many open worlds design that people fell in deep fascination and love with it. They love and cherish every waking moment of its open world design, claiming it's a groundbreaking experience. The reason people say that Elden Ring is groundbreaking is because it defies all gaming conventions for open worlds. It's not only huge and combat centered, but it works on a fundamental level without having to utilize any other open world design. This was even considered revolutionary. Ubisoft has such a fun and brilliant design. It's so much fun and addictive too. It makes you want to travel around and do every quest possible. Elden Ring breaks conventions by transitioning a revolutionary formula and design with their game, and transitions this revolutionary formula to an open world, thus creating their own design, the FromSoftware design, and now that design is open world. What do you know? The combat systems of Ubisoft games tend to be realistic and grounded. The combat system of Elden Ring isn't just realistic, it's intense, engaging, and it comes from revolutionary combat mechanics dating back to Demon Souls, let alone Dark Souls. This has been refined for years, a revolutionary groundbreaking combat system that has been fine-tuned and refined for years and years and years. So the combat has an immense impact going around the world. You'll be ready for the boss encounters, the enemies, and everything due to this revolutionary combat system that has been even more refined in Elden Ring. Traveling a huge open world with bosses and enemies from FromSoftware's design, with hidden areas, an entirely new map underground, even special locations, secret enemies, bosses, and just a huge environment that doesn't hold your hand. That overwhelming feeling of there's always something around the corner. That overwhelming sensation of having a vast environment with so many different ways to fight. You could use dual wield, or you could use two-handed weapons like this is Berserk. It's all up to you. Ubisoft games have stealth. Yes, you've heard me bring up stealth. Well, it's an innovative feature. You see, Ubisoft games allow you to complete side quests and activities in different ways. Let's look at Watch Dogs 2. Standard stuff, right?
Right? Wrong!
Look at all the different ways you can tackle this one singular mission. This is what I'm talking about, open world design, with so much flavor and depth. I love completing things with a variety of different tools and utensils, and in Watch Dogs 2, that is precisely what happens. Look at the player agency, look at the gameplay freedom, look at the player choice. This is some serious stuff for a game's open world design. In Ubisoft games, they also let you not only complete things in different ways, but utilize stealth to your advantage. Ubisoft games allow you to change the behavior of your character and impact the game world with sneaking behind people undetected. Not only this, but in games like Assassin's Creed, they allow for something called social stealth. What is social stealth? Social stealth is a gameplay mechanic in Assassin's Creed that allows you to hide in plain sight, meaning your character will be stealthy by using his or her environment and or people to hide. You have to be smart to hide. You have to use your environment to hide. You have to blend in with the crowd. Imagine doing this in a vast, huge open world city or environment. This is the level of immersion the Ubisoft open world design can give you. In order to create an open world, you have to ask a few questions. Question number 1, how big is the open world environment? Question number 2, what will you put into the environment? In other words, what will you do with that size? Question number 3, how can we fluctuate the open world environment so it feels alive? Question number 4, and what's more important, size or what you put into it? A big open world won't matter if you don't fluctuate the content. The open world environment has to be fluctuated with things to do that are amazing and or fun to actually do. Or it's a whole lot of size over substance. How big an open world should be depends on what kind of open world it is. If it's an open world that takes place in the 12th century, you might want to make the city big but not too large so we have enough time to soak in the environment. So just a small city should do, but what we put in the environment is what really makes or breaks the open world design. What to do with all that size? Well, let's do side quest. Have player choices that can impact the story or world. Let people complete missions in different ways. All kinds of stuff. Different areas. Places with different colors and environments with different people in each area and place. This is how you flesh out an open world environment so it's alive and the player has things to do that are fun and interesting. As for importance of size, I'd rather an open world small yet effective like Fallout New Vegas. The game's open world is not as big as you think, but every choice you make has an impact on its world and characters. Everything you do has choice. How to complete all quests, all missions, all assignments, even random encounters are all up to you. Any weapon, any way, anyhow. Stealth, demolition, all-out infantry, sniping, you name it, it's up to you. Bad choices are good. Changing the foundation of the story around you and its world and environment. There's so much player agency and choice in Fallout New Vegas that it doesn't matter if the map is small. There's so much in its open world that it doesn't even matter. Elden Ring's open world design is not the same as many developers and people, including Ubisoft. They don't hold your hand. They don't tell you where to go. There's always something around the corner. There's so many different ways to fight. The weapons, the ashes of war, the summons, the spells, the armor sets. Man, this game has so many different ways to utilize the combat in the open world design. There's so many different boss encounters and secret lore hidden throughout the world and secret locations connected to an entirely large and vast environment. You don't always know what's around the corner and they're not gonna tell you. While Ubisoft likes to incorporate other aspects of the open world design outside of combat, allowing for races, hidden tombs, for parkour and renovation of properties as well. This is utilizing the open world for things outside of combat. See the difference? Elden Ring utilizes its open world to serve the combat loop. Ubisoft games utilize the open world for things outside the combat loop. It's interesting how different developers have a completely different philosophy of game design or open world design. Elden Ring's open world design is widely considered to be revolutionary. One of the main reasons is that it goes against every design seen in the modern open world, including Ubisoft's design. Ubisoft's formula, it goes against this and says no. We want to do our own design philosophy and transition it to a huge, vast open world. All the combat you want, all the gear you want, all the scope and scale you need, and all the beauty and combat fierceness in the world. Open worlds are special because they allow a level of freedom you wouldn't see in other genres. Elden Ring defies so many things that you would normally experience out of the modern open world, leading people to believe it's groundbreaking. Never before has the Dark Souls revolutionary combat mechanics ever been put to an open environment, and the environment being this huge, vast, and beautiful place with an unbelievable amount of content, enemies, bosses, gear, ashes of war, summons, spells. I mean, wow, this is a vast environment, and it serves one main purpose: action. You must fight, much like Dark Souls, and much like the previous FromSoftware titles, everything it does is to serve its combat system. However, the open world itself is so large, beautiful, and expansive that it leads to a profound connection of its open world design, making you care about its environment without having to tell you everything at once, or without having to be in your face about it. It's all indirect, a lot like when you first played Dark Souls, except now it's in a vast open world, and that connection you start from with the environment was an indirect connection that came naturally over time, thanks to FromSoftware's design. Ubisoft allows for so much player agency in their games, from stealth to demolition to infantry to sniping. It allows for this level of player agency to hacking, and all the amazing tricks you can do with that in games like Watch Dogs 2, or stealth from games like Assassin's Creed, hiding in plain sight, hiding in a crowd, keeping yourself from being seen before taking on your assassination target. Stealth, demolition, and sniping adds layers to how you complete assignments in game. It adds gameplay choice. It adds player freedom. When you experience this level of freedom, then go into a tower and realize you can complete it in any way you see fit, you realize that the only thing determining how you play this game is now you. Ubisoft's design excels in giving players different choices in its open world gameplay. This makes their open world work extremely well. These are the design philosophies of open worlds. Open worlds are not always easy to make. There's a thought process that goes into large projects like this. It can be big, but does it have meaningful content in the vast space? So space isn't always everything. Size isn't always the answer. Sometimes it's what you put into the environment that counts. Some have even gone the route of procedural generation into great effect, while others face heavy criticism. However, that's another story for another time. Open worlds give you gameplay freedom, player agency, in a way no other genre can, making the worlds feel alive and breathe, making people feel like they're traveling in a universe of their own. It's incredible, and it's an experience that will be had time and time again as more open worlds show up and we dissect and experience them. Open worlds like Elden Ring might have had a huge effect on how people view modern open worlds for succeeding and going against the norms and design philosophies of other companies to great effect. While Ubisoft allows for things outside of its own combat mechanics to create different activities to fluctuate its open world environment. Remember, size isn't everything. It can be big, but what is fluctuating its open world environment? Looks like size isn't always everything. Sometimes we need substance and meaningful content over size. Thank you for watching. Stick around for some more. I have more projects in the works. Be on the lookout, and I'll see you in the next one.